Well, welcome back to Tracktalk. Great to have your company as we work towards race 4 coming up on the programme this Sunday afternoon. It's a Class 5 over 1,200 metres. The Archer is the top weight. Fire Away has been scratched during the week. Further down to Take a Chance, the amount of Vlad Jurek drawn in Gate 3. Sun Elizabeth has certainly got claims in a race of this nature. She's drawn well to save every piece of ground. Master Sommelier is back in trip. More on him shortly. Matthew Callady riding from gate number 6, the maiden. Old Host the Nation turning up, our showcase, Old Mate Buzzer and Shine Almighty Sportscaster and Minaj here. From 13 down are the emergencies. Here's Sun Elizabeth. Scott?
Yeah, she's a very interesting mare, isn't she, Nick? She's got great form on the turf over 1,200 metres, but her form on the poly track is okay too. She's a winner and placed on 5 other occasions. So I think she's a big player in this, and she runs very honest in this grade. You've got to always respect her.
Yeah, that was my slight concern actually, the actual track. But I know she has performed on it, so it should be okay, shouldn't it? And it's probably not the strongest Class 5 ever. Perfect Mission is the next one we'll take a look at. Good run last time, better than he had been showing.
Yeah, it was a career best form, running third to Loving Babe, and look, he boxed on solidly, and look, he didn't look to be dropping off onto the line at all. So in a field of this sort of depth, I thought if he runs up to this, definitely one to put in your multiples.
Master Sommelier, now, what do we make of him? You know him better than I. He's back in trip this time around, and he's won a trial.
Yeah, look, he comes here on fresh legs. He had a bit of a break, and he's yet to put a win on the board, but he is placed on 7 occasions. He did trial in good style on this day. You can just see him creeping up on the inside rail there for Matty Callady. Look, he's a nice trialer, he's a nice worker, and he comes here on fresh legs. I would prefer to see him maybe over a little bit further to put him into my tips, but I still think he'll be hitting the line nicely, judging by what we've seen in that trial. So he's definitely one you can respect in this race. You
certainly can respect him. He's a horse who's been racing well, just unable to get that win, and he is back in. I have got him in the tips. I've got him on top actually by default, because I thought Fire Away would be a strong chance in this, but actually obviously has been scratched. Just going back to Sun Elizabeth, just had a quick look. She's won off this mark in the past, and she's won off of 38 when scoring on the poly. So she's off a mark where she can get competitive again. I think without getting too carried away, is she the one to beat, do we think?
These Class 5 races, they can be pretty tricky to say that this horse is going to just beat this field. It doesn't usually happen like that. So she's got the form in the bag. If it was on the turf, I'd probably be a lot more confident. But like I said before, being on the poly track, she does have form on it. She's not useless on it. I just think she gets that couple lengths extra on the turf surface. But I've got her on top, and I think she's a big player. Yeah,
for sure. Hideyuki Takaoka with 20 winners this year. He really is going well. He's having a good year actually, in all fairness to him, and no mean feat to get into the top 10 or top 5. I was struggling to make a case out for one or two others, I must say. Vlad rides Take a Chance here, who's shown very little, but the Champ's riding, how much can we read into that?
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up for you, Nick. It's a very interesting booking, isn't it? Vlad rides Take a Chance, and this horse can miss a start a lot. He's got a bad history of staying in the stalls and missing the kick. He's got barrier 3. I've got him in my top 3 just for the fact that Jurek's on him. He obviously, there's something he likes about him. I'm sure he's been offered other rides in the race, and he just might be one that if he jumps cleanly and Vlad's able to work his riding skills and get him out and running, he just might be a little interesting runner in the race.
Yes, indeed. Vlad Jurek, our 4-time champion jockey, currently 4th in the Premiership there with a 27 winner score thus far. Let's have a look at the selections for the 4th. I'm going to go with Master Sommelier here, in a race that I think you probably could, to be honest, because he does tank along a bit. He's gone close over the mile and 1700. I know this is 12, but I think Callady could probably be, sort of forceful on him, and you make use of him and be confident he'll stay. Sun Elizabeth in for second. She'll run a race. Perfect Mission, if backing up what he did last time, should go well. And a bit like Scott, I've thrown Take a Chance in. I think he's well named because that's exactly what you're doing. But with the Champ book, that's a plus. Take nothing away from any other row that's ridden him. 8, 6, 3 and 5 there.
I'm with the mare, Sun Elizabeth. I think this is a nice little race for her to get another victory. She put 2 wins together nicely a couple runs ago. So I'll put her on top. Ahead of number 5, Take a Chance, and I'm definitely taking a chance with him. I really want to see him jump, put himself in the race, and he can definitely be a top 3 chance. Number 3, Perfect Mission in for third. A nice third last start behind Loving Babe. So in this sort of field, looks well placed. And number 8, Master Sommelier, first up from a break, trialled nicely, will be hitting the line in the last 200 metres. 6, 5, 3 and 8.
Yeah, I'll certainly be seeing it out, won't he, with the 16 and 1700 metre form. Race 5 is the first of what are 3 absolute cracking races on the card this weekend. It's a novice over 1200 metres. There's the field. Speedy Missile, Vlad Jurek. 8 Ball is Hakeem Kamarudin, drawn 7. 3 Everest, Danny Beasley in 8. 4 Melad, Lou Berzlan in 5. 5 is the Big Grey Illustrious, Oscar Chavez in 1. 6 is Big Tiger, Jimmy Wong drawn 4. 7 is Gratham Girl, Shafrazal Salih in 6. And down at the bottom there, Renzo for Fred Crabbier, Simon Cockride's drawn 3, carries very little weight, 51 kilos in this $75,000 contest. Over 40,000 to the winner. And will the winner be Speedy Missile, Scott? We can have a look at him now, running second. This was a good run last time out, and he's the man to Vlad, who's ridden him once for 1 win.
Yeah, very interesting booking, and he's got a very interesting little gear change too. The blinker pacifier has come on for this assignment this weekend, and look, it's a good combination when Vlad gets back on the horses that he's won on in the past. So it's something, if you're a sort of a stats man, it sort of usually comes favourable on your side, I think, if you follow that sort of suit. But he ran really well behind Winning Hobby on this occasion.
Certainly did. Vlad putting him through his paces. This horse owned by the Fair Deal and Ronald Ly's stable. Vlad, who's had 2 rides for them in the last 12 months for 1 win, and it was this horse, Speedy Missile, sort of smart missile. So he's an interesting runner, but he's got to shoulder a decent weight with the claim on 1 or 2 of the others, and the lighter weights. That's going to prove hard. Here's 8 Ball, who won an Open Maiden last time, beat Big Tiger. Those 2 renew acquaintances in this, Scott.
Yeah, there was a few nervous moments in this race. Look, he was a short price favourite on this occasion. He was $9 and well backed, but he was a class horse in this maiden, and Matty just sort of rode him like that too. He really just weaved his way through the field and got the job done on the line. So he was strong, and he deserves his place in this field. I'd really like to see this horse continue on and continue through his career, because I've got a bit of respect for him. I had a bit to do with him, and I'd like to see him just sort of continue to get on winning ways. It took so long for him to get that first one. Yeah,
very much in front of it last time, and not behind the 8 Ball in success in the Open Maiden. And now Everest is arguably probably the classiest runner in the race on what he's done thus far. He has been placed in a 3-year-old sprint, and we're going to go back a run, or 2 runs I should say, for this effort, Scott. This was in the 3-year-old sprint behind Tiger Raw. He subsequently runs 6th in the Classic and has won a trial, which we're going to show very shortly.
Yeah, this was a very strong run on this day. Look, Tiger Raw just really sort of dominated from the back of the field, but he was still hitting the line in good stead, and we know he's a class horse. He won his maiden in great style, and we're going to show you his trial now here from last week. I actually called the trial, and I thought he was very impressive. Look, they ran just under a shy of a minute point 1. So. He was pushed out, but he looked in good order. I thought he looked really well prepared by Ricardo.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? I went back and had a look at this earlier on, or a couple of days ago, when obviously going through the form and the sort of when the fields are out. I mean, I was really impressed by. You'll notice the horse in 3rd is Dinar, who actually won on debut last week, and that horse I think is a smart horse. Here he is working with Water Rocket. Incidentally, that's Renzo's brother.
It is, yeah, a bit of a family mix in the Ricardo Lagrange stable. So it's good to see Danny Beasley getting a leg over him in track work as well. He's starting to get a good association with some pretty high class horses here in Singapore, and that gives me a bit of confidence when they put the hours in the mornings.
Indeed, Danny Beasley taking to the saddle there on Everest. So good luck to Danny, and good luck to Ricardo Lagrange as well. Now, Illustrious represents a very much informed stable, that being Tim Fitzsimmons, and he's a big grey. He's hard to miss. Renzo and Melad coming through this trial. On the winner, Illustrious, obviously good. But what did you make of the other 2, though?
Nice trials, Nick. Obviously, look, it was a pretty slick time, 59.22. So that's on the quicker side of trials we see here at Cranji. And look, they went to the line at a nice hold. I thought Oscar just give him a nice little squeeze going to the line, just to keep his mind on the job, which I like to see in their trials too. Yeah,
Renzo. We're going to have a look at his run now. I thought maybe he was just a little bit flat, to be honest. But I'm hoping he can sort of put that behind him, because I've actually tipped him. Now, this is his win. I thought this was a massive win on yielding ground. Not easy for a second-time starter to do. He's got a lightweight, 51 kilos. I think that's going to be a massive plus.
He does, and he also won this maiden on a yielding ground, Nick.
Know,
so if we keep getting some rain that we've had in the last few days, We know he handles it. We know he's going to only improve off that first run. And I always like to see horses that come off after their first run. I always think they improve a couple of lengths out of experience and education.
Yes, they do indeed. Really nice looking field, this one. Obviously, we've previewed most of the runners in it for you, but we'll just go through one or two of the others that we haven't actually seen in VT. I think we've seen basically all of them. Melad, what have you made of him? I mean, his 2 runs so far have been okay. Both of them on the poly. Goes up in trip again now, which I think is going to suit him.
Yeah, I think so, Nick. He came here and really trialled in good order, didn't he? When a couple of months ago, going back to May, and he looked to be a promising sort of horse. He hasn't disgraced himself in his runs by any means, but look, I just think he's probably that length or 2 behind these sort of class runners in this grade. I'm sure he has room for improvement, and he just might be one we see improve drastically as he steps up over a distance.
We may well do, indeed. Louis Bozlan riding him for the Fahad Ibrahim Al Rashid ownership. Incidentally, he's won 4 winners in the last year, Louis, from 23 rides for them, so that's a 17.3% strike rate, which is not bad at all. Michael Clements also trains Gratham Girl in here. She's yet to win. I do find it, Scott, always tough for these horses that, in these novices. I know it's basically maiden to winner of 1. That's the conditions of the race, if you didn't already know. And it can just be tough. I mean, she's clearly got ability. Whether or not she's got enough to win this, I don't quite know.
Yeah, she's been okay. She hasn't been beaten far, and I thought the form behind Lady Springbok is pretty good. It's going to hold up in weeks to come. So another interesting runner. You can't rule her out. She's not far behind
Can't
the
rule
action.
any of them out, actually.
No, it's going to be a pretty sort of level novice, and it's definitely one of our highlight races of the day. It's got some quality about it.
It certainly has got a bit of quality about it. And Big Tiger just finally 144 into $14 last time. He was absolutely crunched in the race won by 8 Ball, which we've shown you there previously in a past run VT. So perhaps keep an eye on him. But no spot for him in my top 4. I've gone with Renzo to make best use of the lightweight here against the stablemate Everest. He's got to give him 55.5 to 51, so it's 4.5 kilos. That might just tell in the closing stages. Illustrious in for 3rd, and Speedy Missile goes in, but a really good race this one. 8-3, 5 and 1.
I'm with number 3, Everest. I'm looking to make him a good thing on the day. I think he's primed to go another win here on his career. Number 1, Speedy Missile in for 2nd. Vlad Jurek reunites. A Blinker Pacifiers go on. That's a significant gear change. And number 8, Renzo. Nice last start winner. And he really will respect the wet conditions if we get a bit more rain. And number 5, Illustrious in for 4th. He's got a good barrier. He'll jump and use that inside gate to his advantage, so I'll put him in for 4th. 3, 1, 8 and 5.
That is the novice, race number 5. Moving on to the 6th, the Class 4. Now, interesting race this, because you'll notice the top weight has only got 52 kilos. It's a 48 to 53 rated race, and you may be asking why. And it would be because the emergencies are obviously the higher rated runners in the contest. Likes to Kiss Your Song at 65, Master Riker at 63, Al Green at 61, all EAs, and from 2, 3, 4 emergencies are all unlikely to get in. So it's a bit of a lopsided handicap, this one, which could offer up an opportunity for something to nick a bit of decent Class 4 prize money here, and we're going to try and find you the winner of this race. We've also got a punting pointer coming up for you as well, but we're going to start by taking a look at Malibu Beach here, who was 3rd last time out. I think this horse has got a rock solid chance, especially in a very much a sort of a diluted Class 4 like this, Scott.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nick. His run last start behind King Zoostar was very strong, and he's only a one-time winner, but he's run some very honest races in his career here in Singapore. And look, he's had his, I think by memory, he had his little issues behaviour-wise, didn't he, earlier on? Yeah, so they look to really have him sorted out. He's a lovely-looking grey. He seems to work well and race with good manners, but...
Who's that riding him?
Ooh.
Is that jockey?
Yeah, I think it is. Not often we see Ricardos go around in those colours, though.
I can't pick the rider, but good luck to Ricardo and Paulo Mendoza. Here's the Brotherhood.
Yeah, very a good horse on the poly track and at this distance, which we'll touch upon shortly, Nick. And look, he really just sprinted well here. He goes really well over this distance, and he sort of settles midfield thereabouts and really finishes strongly in his runs. And it was good to see him bounce back to winning ways, because it's been a while since we've seen him do that. And he's been promising in the last few months to put that sort of run in that he showed us.
Indeed, he has, yes, and he is obviously a horse in very good form coming into to this race, isn't he? The Brotherhood, he's up 5 points on the back of that win last time. We've got a punting pointer for you regarding him and regarding his course and distance record as well. The 1100 metres on the poly track, 5 runs, 2 wins, a second and a third. So he's got a very, very healthy record under these conditions, Scott. And I like the booking of Shafrazal Salih as well. I've always been, pretty keen on this guy, and I think he can ride. He's great value for his 1 kilo.
Yeah, he is. Look, he doesn't ride a whole lot for Jerome Tan. You can just have a look. He's only had 20 rides for 1 place in the last few months, but he's a boy in form, and you've really got to stick with these jockeys when they're riding well, and he gets a chance on a horse that's proven last start to do it again here.
I think, just going back to that Malibu beat, I think that was Jimmy Wong.
It was Jimmy.
Yeah, I think it looked like Jimmy Wong.
Could be,
didn't it?
But, could be.
As you say, we usually see Ricardo's
in the blue and white.
in the blue and white colours. Yeah, just got thrown a little bit there. Right, let's get back on track. Star Shield is where we'll go next. We'll have a look at his past run. Star Shield, who was a winner, beat him more and more last time. It's over slightly further, and it was in a lesser grade, but to be fair, you can't knock the win. It was quite a good win in the end, but he's had to fight for it.
He did. Look, the flashy grey, it was good to see him get back in the winner's stall, and he's a horse with a lot of nice looks about him, and good to see him get a win for Connections. But look, it was a solid win. He really stuck it out and was chased as well. So, there's nothing to say he can't go back-to-back here, Nick.
Yeah, he's a flashy-looking one, and he's in winning form. Here's 9-6-3-3. Unluckily for him, he's drawn the car park. Yeah,
very tricky barrier. Look, probably rather draw that barrier on the poly track than the turf, Nick. So there's a little bit of light and a bit of darkness there, but really solid win. Look, he beat 8 Ball, who goes around in the novice earlier on. So if he brings that form, if 8 Ball happens to come out and run extremely well, but in the race before him, there might just be a little bit more push for 9-6-3-3's chances.
Yes, quite possibly. Part owned by Desi Coe as well, the trainer. So good luck to Desmond with this one. Gets an opening mark of 48, having won last time. So an interesting race in regards to sort of the way the handicappers sort of levelled out a little bit. So with the top weight carrying a very light weight, that puts some of our more senior jockeys out of action. Oscar Chavez is going to ride the top weight here. David Sling. First bowl, first chief. I thought also a couple of chances possibly.
Yeah, I'd first bowl in my top 4 selections, Nick. I thought he was a little sort of rusty hope in a field like this. And well, you talk about weights. How tricky would it have been for trainers trying to book jockeys in a field like this? You've got pretty much 12 horses, all under 52 kilos, and we don't have a big depth of jockeys here at Cranji at the moment, especially ones that can ride really light. So the likes of Mark Lerner and Vlad Jurek and all that, they'll be left in the jocks room looking on.
Indeed. Come 2:30, chaps. Might be a good time for a cup of tea or something like that, perhaps. Let's have a look at the selections. Malibu Beach for me on top. I think he can build on that run last time out and looks at a winning chance in this. I've thrown the Brotherhood in for second. Head of Limbs Knight, number 7. Now, he's got to a decent sort of mark. And go back and have a look at his run last time behind King Zoostar. He made up some good late ground. Handicap has very kindly dropped him 2 as well. And first bowl goes in to make up the quartet. 8-3-7-5, my numbers here. I'm
with the Brotherhood, the course and distance specialist, let's call him, in this field. Nice win last start. Looked to be the Brotherhood of old, so looking for him to go back-to-back. Malibu Beach in for second. He's a pretty progressive sort of horse in this grade, and you can't rule him out in these events. 5 first bowl in for third, a very interesting runner. He's pretty well performed, and he's going to like this class 4. He's had a couple of runs in it after running in weaker grades. And number 4, Whiz Fizz in for 4th. I thought an interesting runner from the James Peters. Hakim Takes a Ride. You must respect him. 3, 8, 5 and 4.
Yes, he must be respected indeed. That is the 6th race. Coming up after the break, though, is race number 7, the race of the day. It's a Cranji Stakes, and it features none other than 2 Group 1 winners from 2021 alone. Not to be missed. Join us after this.